All right, we're back here live at DattoCon 2022 here in Washington, D.C. We've got Gary Pica here, MSP
Welcome.
legend.
Yeah.
Is that how you're usually introduced?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you, a lot of times people ask me, how do you become an MSP legend? And I say, step one, tell everyone you're a managed service legend.
Well, in all seriousness, right before we went live, and I'm like, we should have gotten that live, you were stopped and a gentleman introduced himself, Jeremiah, and he's like, used your stuff for years, transformed his business. He was able to have a successful exit about a year ago, it sounded like, and he said you totally transformed what they did. So what do you think it is that you really do help them and help them transform?
So I would say there's two pieces to it. One, we have a framework for how they run the business, from business planning to how they organize service delivery, all the metrics, like taking a complex business and making it simple. But the other part of it, really, I'll say similar to what Robin's strong suit is just trying to get people to take action. Like, even if they don't know everything to do right, if you can get people to take a step, and so many people, they just get up every day, and in this business, you can just get and answer tickets all day long for a decade.
Yeah.
And the answers to, financial success and success of your team and your customers, it's not inside a ticket, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you're seeing a lot of change in the MSP industry. There's a lot of change in what you're doing here with the company. Talk a little bit about where True Methods is going and what's all happening with your company.
Yeah, it's been great. So, as people probably know, a few years back, True Methods was acquired by Kaseya, and in that time, we've been able, with their help, to really grow out our peer groups, True Peer, and we have over, I'm going to say, 260 MSPs now in the peer groups, and for me, that's a passion project about those leaders and entrepreneurs and making a difference. And we also combined it under MSP enablement with powered services. So with that, really trying to help people, with a lot of their go-to-market. And now with Datto, we're responsible, Dan Tomaszewski and I, for the partner program and MDF. So now we can try to give people money and help them use it on those events and things they're going to do. So a lot of synergy. I'm excited about it.
So I know you're really passionate about peer groups within this industry here. That's talk about passion project for you here. Why are peer groups so important to MSPs in particular?
I think in any industry, being with like-minded people is going to move you further faster. But in this industry that's moving so fast and so complex right now, I don't know how an MSP could not be a member of, a peer group. I mean, there's so many great ones, right? And we share a lot of people that are in our peer groups.
Sure.
You're not going to figure it out in your office by yourself. There's just too much changing at this rate, and you can leverage other people's knowledge and experience, and the facts prove out. They grow faster, and they're more profitable, and I think they have more fun running the business.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, what I see a lot, there's a lot of trends of M&A in this business, and it's very few and far between that I ever see someone that's being acquired, at least acquired not because they're being forced out of the business, but being acquired for great multiples that is not a part of a peer group already.
Very few, because if they haven't put that repeatable business structure in place, if they haven't figured out how to get the appropriate margins and how to grow consistently, you're not that attractive of a target.
Yeah.
Or at least you're not a valuable target.
Yeah, absolutely.
And listen, and that really is at any scale, whether you do, under $1 million a year or you do 10 million, you can still optimize that business and you can maximize your value. This is not just about, having to be the biggest company. That's not what everybody wants. It's about wherever you are. I say there's no reason not to grow and optimize margins. I mean, it's hard to do it, but I think it's harder to sit there and have a bunch of tickets and not make money. That's hard too.
I mean, it can be easy also if you're just head down on the tickets.
Yeah.
So in this presentation, Fred talked about, I believe it was doubling down on the amount of MDF, and then I think it was 4Xing the investment in the partner program. Obviously, it's one of your babies, being child's bringing, I think we're supposed to call him Big Country now. Dan Tomaszewski. And into it there. But do you want to talk about some of the plans for that and what the partners are going to see?
Yeah, so first off, we want to take, Datto always has done an amazing job. And it's one of the reasons why they have this community. And I've been lucky enough to be part of DattoCons for probably 5 or 6 years. And it's a way they make this connection and show their partners they want to be more successful. So in seeing that, Kaseya wants to take it, one, not break it, that's most important. Yep. And then two, try to add to it so that all customers, Kaseya and Datto, have that same, same opportunity. At a time when I think they need to be investing in marketing, right, more than ever. They have people that are competing with them. They have other people that are marketing to their customer base now. So it is like, I don't think you can do nothing at this point and stay the same. You're moving backwards if you're doing nothing.
Absolutely. Now you mentioned this is your, what, 5th, 6th DattoCon. Obviously, the last couple of years we haven't been here. What are the biggest shifts you've seen since like the pre-COVID to now? Wow,
I mean, what hasn't been a shift? The economy is different. The way people work in terms of, premise or remote, the investment that SMBs are making in technology, security, the PE game, both in the channel and in MSPs, like all of these things have changed. And look, I've been in this for 25 years. It moved pretty slow until 3 or 4 years ago.
Absolutely.
And all of these things are happening. And that's why I was stressing, the peer group. But I think it's hard. You could have been in this industry like a rising tide and not be, I'll say, an excellent business person. A good tech with common sense, take care of your people and customers and have a good business. I think that's going to get harder to do. I think you need to be a professional business person.
Well, I think, to your point, I think they gave out the statistic that something like 60% of renewals now are kind of contested renewals where they're going to shop around, whereas most people, like you talk them, you get a customer or client, they kind of stay forever. As long as you do, like you said, a good job, they're not shopping that around, but there's a bunch of increased competition.
Yeah, I think you guys are probably seeing in your peer group the same thing that we are. There's more recurring revenue being sold at a higher price than ever before. That means there's more churn for someone. Yeah. Because a lot of it, a big percentage of it, is coming from another MSP. So although I'm happy to see those sales numbers, I also look and say there's other people that maybe aren't benefiting from that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the best business is the best business is taking it from someone else.
Yep.
That's not doing a great job of it, which is crazy with it. I know I'm just going back historical of it's really such a new industry, as you know, of being right at the forefront of it. It was what, 2006, 2007 with Kaseya that you were even doing some of the managed services blueprint sessions with Robin and those. I know that was kind of the first that I had been exposed to you when I had my MSP.
I'll say that boot camp, I still was at my MSP that I sold in 2008. I started True Methods in 2009, and Robin invited me to speak. We met through Kaseya to speak at that boot camp, and it was, had I not come and spoke there and gotten the feedback and some encouragement from Robin, I don't know that I even would have gone on to start the business. That was one of those moments you look back on in your life.
Well, cool. I'm glad we did get that one on camera. Anyways, so I mean, speaking of events,
I'll tell anyone to listen.
That's great.
My history.
Okay. So DattoCon's obviously one of the premier events in the industry here. What do you think it is about DattoCon that makes people come back year after year, miss it when it's gone, and continues to grow?
DattoCon is completely partner focused. If you look at the content, look, there's some vendor content because people, this is a chance they want to hear from vendors, but they're like, I'm running a track, 6 sessions, no vendors. It is just content, and there's marketing content. And so I feel like it's very unselfish and really designed to make partners better first. Everything else second. They want the vendors to do well and you have a business, but I think everyone kind of feels that, and they really connect. Datto's everywhere in the channel, and they're beloved.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, there's one of the sessions that you are doing that I noticed on the schedule is around M&A and specifically of why M&A is going to impact every single MSP.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that, of kind of your perspective on that.
Yeah, so even if you're not a buyer or a seller, it's changing the landscape. It's changing your competition. It's changing what you have to do to value yourself. So everyone needs to be educated on this changing marketplace. The same way they need to be educated on the changing vendors and what's happening, and the security landscape. You have to know all of that to make better decisions, even if you plan to run your MSP for the next 10 years.
Excellent. Well, Gary, thanks for spending some time with us here.
Thank you.
This is the place to be, DattoCon 2022, and we're going to be continuing to come live here throughout today and tomorrow. Thanks, Gary.